Yes, well, sorry about that. I'll have to join this or send it as it is. I tried to put the papers back in order because it fell off my hand, and I should have paused it. I sometimes forget the pause button. So, friends and families, GUYSUCO is more than just sugar. Now, here's an intellectual of the governing party, a man of grassroots level, a man who understands humanity, the country, and people in general, and all segments of ethnic or racial diversity in Guyana, and has his finger always on the pulse, friends and families. A beautiful article here showing that he is Agriculture Minister Mustapha and team speak with reporters during a visit to Skeldon Sugar Estate on Saturday. I gather that also that the Rosal Estate, which is in Kenya, or known as Kanji, is in the best possible state at the moment, and maybe very little has to be done to replace it. With the sugar estates and GUYSUCO and destruction of sugar without any structure or any planning, display absolutely and thoroughly the hate of the sugar workers, of the people in the sugar belt, of the maybe even the ethnic diversity of population, which is basically mixed, you know. You might have a 70-30, you might have a 60-40, and such kind of 50-50 and so on. So if you think you're destroying the sugar estate, you're going to destroy the support of who is now the governing party was a huge mistake. You forgot the people, and you forgot the reality that sugar is in the DNA of our people. Sugar is our lifeblood. And yes, you went unlike Trinidad. Trinidad also went off sugar, but because their economy was so robust on oil and manufacturing of steel and power and a diversification of industries because they had cheap electricity. And so you tried, not for any of those reasons, to destroy the sugar because you failed to realize that sugar, as Honorable Minister Zulfikar Mustapha is saying, GUYSUCO is more than just sugar. So I have not read the article as yet, but I'm going to tell you, indeed, that it is definitely more than sugar. It is lifeblood. It is sustenance for villages, tongue, rural, urban economies, and also for the country. I had written them when they were just about closing down and suggested that they put a hold, and they turned it into a variety of industries and still producing cane. Now, it seems to me that this new PPPC government have heard me. But maybe it's their own brain, or maybe they're just looking at ideas being published and are talking to their stakeholders. So they understand that this thing could be fortified and developed and rectified. Yes, it will cost money, but the entire country gains when an economy, when an industry is prosperous. Beloved, divine friends and families, a whole economy, the nation, because the money gets around indirectly to every citizen in the country, and money goes into the coffers, and then you get foreign exchange. If you exchange the foreign exchange at current currencies of Guyana, you end up getting several times the value that you're getting. And yes, it might cost 16 or 20 cents per pound, and you have to, it might cost, you'll be sell for 16 or 20 cents per pound, and it costs you 50 cents per pound to make. But the fact is, the amount of mouths that are being fed, the amount of people who are receiving succulence and sustenance. And it's all about marketability. They're talking about packaging molasses is a big thing. and it's used for confectionery, and also it is used for the manufacture, well, we Muslims hate it, but it's a reality in life, for rum or alcohol-based products, and could also be used for blending with the gasoline, like in Brazil, to 50-50 or some ratio for motor cars to use, and which is so much less toxic and polluting to the atmosphere. So there's so many things could be done. I spoke about fish processing, using their fish canals, growing these kinds of catfish or armored catfish, regular catfish, all these sweetwater fish in there, and can be processed and manufactured and exported and canned in canning industry for milk and possible meat and production of black belly sheep. So much things could be done, and you can partner the government. This government, I'm encouraging them, don't just look for the debt or the loan, look for partners from India who has always been with sugar, and partner with those people so that they will spend their money as well, and they could bring seasonal workers. They could bring seasonal workers into the country to help, because at times we do have problems with labor. And we will not work antagonistic to the Guyanese labor force by bringing them in. They will also have to be a part of the unionized agreement, so they get representation as human beings, but at the same time, we have the additional force that we require. So let me go now to the article by this brilliant son of Guyana, former chairman of Region 6, Mr. Zulfikar Mustapha. Let me just get out some of this perspiration and get to the article, friends and families, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Let us also use the moment, I told you, I don't waste a minute in my life. Even when I'm sitting down, looking like I'm relaxing, or even if I'm watching a movie, and I always like a movie here and there, or part thereof, my brain is always thinking positively. I'm a beautiful soul. I'm meditating at the same time. I would like to achieve this, and I would like to achieve that. Using every second of your life. If you don't use every second of your life for positive things, even for meditation, you are wasting your life. You're wasting your time. And you're using your time to relax with alcohol and such nastiness that affects your family and your home. And here's my beautiful boy, my grandson. Come here. Here is Atlas. Hello, Atlas. And I love you too, boy. And I love you too. Yes. Okay. Nice, baby. Yes, yes. You want some love. You want some grandpa love. Right? Yes. Okay. You go now. Go. 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 Come on. Go. No. Come on. Go. You want more? Go on. Go. Go. Okay. Come give a little bit more. Okay. Okay. A little bit more love for you. A little bit more love for you. Okay. That's enough now. Come on. Go. No more. Okay. So, let us hear the man's wisdom. Honorable Minister Zulfikar. Reopening of closed estates will breathe new life into village economies. You hear there? You hear the wisdom there, friends and families? You see, His Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali and Vice President, who decided on these portfolio for the various ministers, they're no ordinary people. And as I always said, the will of the people is the will of God. And so the leadership will be imbued with intellect and wisdom that they can know who to identify for various ministries. Look at Ranson. Young Charles Ramson. He is a gas specialist, highly educated, but the president and the vice president decided to put him in youth and sports because he's very sporty. He has the athletic, handsome body to move around and capture the multitudes of the peoples, the masses, the youths. culture, youth, and sports. God bless him. All of them, they all have their personality, persona, their skills for exactly what they are good in. Look at Bindia Prasad, Dr. Bindia Prasad, perfection for Minister of Social Protection, Human Services, ideal personality. So these guys know what they're doing. Now back to the article. Reopening of closed estates will breathe new life into village economies, says Minister Mustapha. By Rabindra Ruplal and Nafiza Yahya Sakoor. Chronicle of September 6th. The Guyana Sugar Corporation, GUYSUCO, is not only about sugar and employment, but a medium that has contributed significantly to national and community development, positively impacting the lives of thousands. This is according to Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustapha, during a recent interview with the Guyana Chronicle. GUYSUCO historically is not only about employing people, it has a multi-faceted role in the community. There are direct workers who depend on GUYSUCO, and there are the indirect dependents. Exactly what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Like the stores, the shops, the small manufacturers, the workshop, the mechanic shop, the stores that supply these little stores, GUYSUCO, tools and equipment. So friends and families, indirectly, exactly what I'm telling you. Direct and who depend on GUYSUCO, and there are the indirect dependents. First of all, I can't recall what I told you. This is a presentation in the raw of RKs Guyana Free Media. And I have learned and seen thousands and tens of thousands of people who like me reading these articles. Some of them don't have time to read, some don't know to read, and some are not in the area where they could read, and they like the bits of commentaries and explanations that are given by yours truly, me, Haji, brother, presenter, Dr. Roshan Khan. And such people who have indirect dependency are shopkeepers, like I said, seamstresses, tailors, market vendors. GUYSUCO was also involved in community development where playgrounds, drainage and irrigation, healthcare centers and other aspects were looked after precisely. I recall as a little boy, I was at the Tagore Memorial High School, and we had to visit the estate and then write an essay. And I had brought second in my category, which is about 14 years of age, of that. They give competitions and essays, and I mean, the British were running it so well, and we thought that we were big, you know, we were so smart. They were making so much money. Our people's standard of living was higher, and that we could do it and we could run it. And when we got rid of them and nationalized it, everything went into haywire. Health, even though they had it, and that was part of my essay, that even though we were members of the community and not sugar workers, we were looked after. And the dispenser sick nurse at that time, who was like a doctor, was Balkisun. Dr. Balkisun, God bless his soul, he was a good man. He also noted that majority of talented cricketers came from the GUYSUCO estates, absolutely, and contended that the decision by the previous government to close the estates was one that lacked a vision. But I would also say it lacked hate, and it lacked betrayal, and it also comprised of betrayal by the AFC Ranjatan and Moses Nagamutu in particular. Their own Charandas, who was their minister of the APNU AFC in the quarantine area, representing the same people, did not even know until he read it in the newspapers. So to me, that shows a kind of hate by the AFC leadership, friends and families. Back to the article. He also noted that majority of talented cricketers, yes, we finished that, was one that lacked vision. Sugar under the PPPC administration, he said, will be brought back to its former glory. It is an investment, friends and families, and if time comes, but I keep on insisting on them to partner with the sugar magnates of India. And if there are any, like in Ghana, they want to do more and more with us, fine, bring them in from Africa, no problem at all. Speaking to Crabwood Creek residents at the ball field in that community on Saturday, the minister said a lot of work is being done to reopen the closed sugar estates. You know for a fact, when these estates were closed, people in the community, not only those persons who were working with the sugar estates, but people who depend on the sugar estate directly and indirectly were affected in places like Crabwood Creek, Line Part, and the entire country area. We have seen the activity slow down and people had to migrate to other areas to seek employment and to try to eke a living. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was so much, the mechanic shops, people repairing their homes, the artisans, the carpenters, the plumbers, and so forth. Everyone suffered. It is not just to close the sugar estate by magic or, say, automation, fiat, and then people just left to wander in the wilderness. Back to the article. Returning persons to their jobs will be the short-term plan. Minister Mustapha told this publication, noting that incrementally the sector will be developed until it is sustainable. I keep on suggesting, Honourable Minister, that you partner with India and maybe even some of, if they have the capacity and ability, which I will not be surprised, in Ghana, Africa. We are looking to employ as many persons as possible. Those are people who lost their jobs and others who are needed in the system. The Agriculture Minister said, yes, the fields have to be prepared, the factories have to be cleaned and processed and lubricated and decarbonized and tested and so forth. Back to the article, for the past 5 years, Minister Mustapha noted that there was no cohesive policy or aim to propel the agriculture sector in a progressive path. Yes, there was nothing. All there was, they were hammering on the oil and gas so that they could pocket themselves. And they could sell out what they could sell out to get their clandestine bonuses. And I'm not necessarily speaking of former President Granger. We know who those people were. Back to the article. Agriculture is one of the major sectors in our country, and we have to have certain clear objectives before we go there. As such, value-added products diversification and modernization is needed in order to survive in the global market and economy. The Agriculture Minister said, ball again. He's hitting the ball for not a 6 or 7, but for 9, ladies and gentlemen. He's hitting the ball on the head. We have to have a kind of a diversification to make it feasible and reasonable. And they could do it. Remember, those of you who just joined, friends and families, relook this presentation on the watch party and on Facebook. I'm explaining that I'm in this condition simply because I just came out of my exercising mode. I'd like to suggest to everyone to try and do their basic exercises. Regardless of what you do need certain different kinds of exercises. Back to the article. Right direction. You also noted that government is also already moving in this direction. As a matter of fact, I recently submitted the terms of reference, and the government of India will be sending 2 specialists to assist with the reorganization of the industry. This is the first step. I've also discussed acquiring the equipment necessary to assemble factories at estates that were closed. Many of these factories were left as empty shells, and in order for us to reopen them, estates will need to replace all those equipment. The High Commissioner was very interested, and we will have further discussions on it soon, Minister Mustapha said. On the issue of diversification, He said sugar can only be looked at through the eyes of sustainability. Exactly. The minister on that score noted that cogeneration will be used in the sugar industry, while the Albion sugar estates could be modernized to produce white sugar, which is imported into Guyana. We have been talking a lot about white sugar. I recall when Burnham wanted to do that, he was threatened by the Australians and the Americans and the British and the Europeans that they will withhold aid because they need the opportunity to make some money. So we have to buy their sugar. And there went the project under. They started in an Ogle estate, and I hope that's a very fantastic estate with some of the best equipment and facilities. And they started at Hope Estate, I beg your pardon, at Ogle Estate to produce some of the bestest Guyana, the very best of best Guyana gold, which was copied by a set of business people overseas who have no interest in our country, but only gluttonous for themselves. They stole the name. Back to the article, the minister on that note noted that cogeneration, that they will produce power and sell it to GUYSUCO. That's a great idea. All these estates could do this. Further, he said high-grade molasses is needed in Guyana for the rum industry, along with supplying the Trinidadian market. You recall some time ago there was a quarrel between Anson McCall and DDL, because DDL could have taken all the molasses of GUYSUCO and they wanted to sell it to an overseas group, which is really ridiculous to me if you ask me. Our own first. Back to the article. Currently at the Wales estate, 17 tons of sugar is being used to produce 1 ton of 17 tons of cane is being used to produce 1 ton sugar, because many of the equipment were removed and the estate was left in a dilapidated condition. While Wales estate will be difficult to open because it was destroyed. The previous government sold out land, part from the factory and parts from the factory, and parts of the factory were cannibalized. So we will have to look at Wales as a big, larger project. But the 3 other estates will be easier to open, but we haven't decided which one yet, the minister said. They're working on it. It's very early, just over a month in power. And among the things they're doing, as the President said, we will hit the road running. Well, I'm saying His Excellency the President is not running with his ministers, they are flying. On Wednesday, after a meeting with GUYSUCO, National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited team, the minister said a technical team was set up and inspections were being done at Rose Hall, Enmore and Skellin estates, and that report on the conditional survey will be submitted to Cabinet. Key appointments. On a separate visit to Skellin estate on Saturday, Minister Mustapha said key appointments have been made. We have appointed Mr. Vishnu Pandey as the point person. He will have a small team to go around to see what is needed right now. He was the last estate manager here, and he has a lot of knowledge of this location, so we will come up with an immediate plan of action that can be implemented and bring back this project. When I was asked how long it will take to bring this back, I said we have to do a conditional survey to know that is there and what is needed. So first of all, we have to look at the factory. The man is speaking as an intellectual, as a man of wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, one who understands things. You don't make decisions haphazardly like how the decision was made by Moses Nagamutu and Kemraj Ramjatan to close down their state by fiat and destroy lives. We also have to bring in the cane farmers, because the location here, the cane farmers contribute 33%. So we have to engage the cane farmers with GUYSUCO so we can have enough cane for the factories, that the private growers can go back to producing their cane. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, consume sugarcane juice instead of ordinary aerated drink. We don't manufacture the sugar for the aerated drink, but when we do, we will try to support it, but consume sugarcane juice. And don't say it's sweet, because most of you are saying sugarcane is sweet, but you're drinking Sting and a whole set of soft drinks and packing the sugar in various kinds of fruit juices. Drink sugarcane juice. That is what I live on. And if you are diabetic, smartly consume as a medicine in snap glasses, friends and families. So they need to have enough cane to feed the factories. Arun Dukia has been appointed the point person for Rose Hall Estate, the minister said. So, Honorable Minister, my brother and friend, Zulfikar Mustapha, congratulations. You are doing an amazing job, hitting the road flying. And so is your president, our president, so is the vice president and the prime minister and their own sections and departments and all the ministers hitting the road flying. I'm so proud of the things I'm seeing within the few weeks that you have taken power and going out to meet the people and honor them and love them. I just saw Sharon Duncan saying they went into Tiger Bay and they took ball and cricket gear and so on. Well, that is to help to keep the youths busy, exercising, active, dynamic, and learning sports and becoming champions. Why didn't they take computers and laptop? Well, why didn't they do it? Why didn't they do it? And they remember, the previous government, or the government that the new AFC took from, they had a policy of one laptop per family. And as soon as they took power, they destroyed it. And they said they will give laptops to teachers, and nobody got anything. And the one laptop per family, thousands got, and it helped them. And I'm sure it will be readdressed again in time. Right now is to keep their youths active, exercising, practicing to become champions and leaders and being fit. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, saying thank you, beloved, divine friends and families. And may God bless you and our country and our government and also the opposition to become a positive opposition, to help our country to work, to oppose smartly, not just for the sake of opposing, and then find the ground, the nexus, that we can have shared governance. Much will come from the behavior of the opposition, to my opinion. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, saying thank you and farewell, friends.